Hey everybody, TC Bradley, host of God Made Millionaire TV. I have been waiting all week for you, yes you, to come back to this show to activate your God-given dream. We've got a special show lined up for you tonight. My very good friend, Lee Shelby. Lee Shelby had a workplace accident that cost him both of his hands, and he's dedicated his life to living a no-excuses life. But for right now, let's crack open the vault and let's start our show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, TC.
Lee, take us back to the day that your accident occurred, if you wouldn't mind, to start our show off.
My accident happened on August 12, 1991. So I worked for a utility in Tennessee. And as a lineman, I was working one day and I cut down a conductor. Whenever I cut down that conductor, my right hand contacted a primary conductor, which meant that conductor was carrying 13,200 volts of electricity. 13,200 volts of electricity. Goes in this hand, into this hand, in my arm, and come on under my armpit.
And it cost you both of your hands.
Burned both of them off.
What was your last memory of that day?
The last thing you remember is going to work. Okay, that was it. The next thing I do, I wake up, and I'm looking up at the hospital ceiling. I mean, the bird gets me to the hospital. Whenever I meet my doctor, I have 6 surgeries over the course of 5 days. Now, during that time, I'm out.
So when you woke up, you went to work, and then you woke up, you're in a hospital bed.
Right.
Take the viewers at home into that hospital room. What was your reaction? Take us into that room, if you don't mind.
Well, like I said, if you go to work, and the last thing you remember is doing your normal activity, okay? But whenever the next thing I remember, it wasn't that next day. I had a 23-day hospital stay, so it took probably, I'd say 10 to 12 days for me to wake up. Whenever I did wake up, suspended over my head or my arms. The only problem was there wasn't any hand at the end of them.
So what went through your mind in that moment? You saw that. It had to be horrifying.
You know, it wasn't horror, but it was confusion. I was angry at everything right then, at that moment.
Right.
Okay? But there's one thing, you know, and I'll tell you, it was just like everyone, I'm human. I did question for a few minutes why God had done this to me.
Right, right.
There, you know, and I wanted to know. But at the end of the day, He did not do this. This was an accident that happened. This was an accident. There is no reason for me to get mad at God for this, because God didn't have anything to do with doing this.
Now, wait a minute. Do you realize there are people right now watching this program and they have a angst against God because of something that happened in their life that was not fair? They didn't bargain for it. They didn't ask for it, but yet it was found on their doorstep. And so they feel in their minds that they have an excuse, a reason to charge God with what had happened in their life, for that divorce that went bad, the partnership that went bad, the diagnosis that was unexpected. And you're telling me in that hospital bed with your arms hanging above your head that you only blame God for a few moments?
Yeah, there was no reason for me to blame Him. But what you're talking about, those people that are watching this, I'm you. I'm every one of you that are watching this. I went through that. Now, whenever you blame Him, there is no excuse for this. There is no reason to blame God for it. You know, the one thing that I did take out of this was every morning I wake up.
Right.
I wake up, I open my eyes, I can walk, I can get out of bed. There was more things to be thankful for than anything else. All I did was lose my hands. So whatever you're going through out there, whatever you're going through, there is no excuse for you to not get up and continue on, because you've got God on your side. There's no excuses. I couldn't make any excuses. I have no hands, but I couldn't make excuses for not carrying on my life. But whatever you're going through, Whatever you're going through, let God take it.
What was the toughest moment at that time when this happened to you?
Whenever you start trying to process what happened, and I started realizing that they're actually gone. They're never going to come back. I'm never going to get them back. It was very hard. It was extremely hard. For a long time, every night I would go to bed and I would think that, this is the end of the day. In the morning, I'll wake up, it'll be August the 13th. Go back to work. Normal day. It never came. Every morning, I'd wake up, look down, nothing there. I had to come to reality. That's the way it was. That's where the forgiveness comes in. I had to forgive myself. So I knew God didn't have anything to do with this. This was me. I forgave myself, and I got better as I did that.
You were once asked if you were a man of faith.
Yes, very much so. There is absolutely no way that you can have a pair of these, that you can survive 13,200 volts. There's no way you can survive that and walk away without God being there.
Lee Shelby, you are absolutely one of the most inspirational men that I've ever met in my lifetime. I want you to know that.
Thank you.
And I'm very proud of your comeback. The comeback is epic. Your comeback is phenomenal. You've written 2 books, No Hands and No Excuses. You've written another book as well that debuted on the bestseller list. And you have rebranded yourself, and now you are one of the top speakers in the country and on the topic of workplace safety. And you fly all over inspiring people.
Right.
As a matter of fact, what I want to do now, talking about the comeback, is I had my producers go into the vault, and we found some footage of you working out. So what I want to do is, for the audience at home, our audience, we want to play just a few moments of the Lee Shelby working out. Lee Shelby, you are a beast, sir.
Thank you very much.
You are a beast. I will tell you, there are people all across the world now watching that, and they had their resolutions to work out, but they've allowed excuses in their way. You, sir, have not allowed any excuses to come. How are you able to do that, work out like that? And why do you do it?
Well, for one thing, I have special prosthetics, so I have different types of prosthetics that help me work out. Now, the reason I do it is because I want to live a longer life. I want to be healthier. I want to stay in shape. So the only way I can do that is take care of my body, eat right, exercise, basic, simple, small things. That's what you saw me doing. And there's a reason for it, because God has that purpose. And if I'm not able to do it, I'm not able to fulfill my purpose if I'm not healthy. And that's why I do it.
Right.
So everyone at home who wants to do something like that, I have no excuses. I don't have any hands. I had to figure out how to redo it. I had to figure out how to do those things. You can do the same thing.
You know, Lee, I think of your story, and when you actually take a moment to think of the challenges that you face really on a daily basis, you know, from buttoning your shirt to getting dressed in the morning to sending a text message. There are so many challenges that you face in your life. How did you overcome those challenges?
One day at a time, one moment at a time, one obstacle at a time. And it was just a matter of figuring out how to do it. My phone, I figured out how to work it. I figured out that it's an exercise in patience, I can tell you that. Because what takes you 1 minute to do will take me 3 minutes to do. So to learn how to be patient and figure it out was what was the hardest part, because I was a very impatient person in the beginning, but now I've learned patience, and I've just learned how to do these things.
Right, right. I want to go back to the accident a little bit, because I know the backstory of that. Tell us about your mom and dad and their reaction to their son suffering such a horrific accident?
Well, whenever my accident happened on that day, my parents got a phone call from my safety supervisor at the time and told them that they had to get down to the hospital. So my parents drive down to the hospital. Now, the only news that they have is that I'm still breathing. That's it. Their drive down to the hospital is probably 15, 20 minutes. Once they get there, they get in the hospital, in the emergency room, and they're with my doctor. You know, you've got about a 10-minute window with that doctor, and he's standing there explaining to my parents why their son, their only son, is gonna probably, there's a 99.9% chance when Lee leaves this hospital, he's not leaving with those hands. So they're trying to process all this. Okay, both of them are. But at that moment, my father has this idea. And he looked at my doctor and he said, take me to the operating room. Lee's left-handed, I'm right-handed. He's my son. Amputate and transplant my left hand onto him. And my doctor said, I can't do that. But that man was willing to give up a limb for me. That is very powerful. And to know that, what I did to them, you know, by putting them in that situation was something that I can't take back.
What is the number one thing you miss in your life about not having hands?
The sense of touch, the sense of feel.
Tell us about that.
All right, for you, if you were standing up and you wanted to reach that coffee cup, you wouldn't have to look at that coffee cup. You could reach over and grab it because you could feel it.
Right.
For me, I can't do that. I have to look at everything I pick up and touch. I have to see it because I have no sense of feel, so I couldn't find it with my tactile grip, with the sensation I have in my hand, because there's not a hand there. This is it, two of them. I can't feel. So to lose that sense of feel, to not be able to touch another human being, to not be able to feel them with your hands is very devastating. I mean, it's an obstacle to get through, but that still wasn't an excuse for not living my life. I learned how to do things. I learned that that's a part of this accident. That's a part of my life now, is not being able to feel. So I deal with that every day. But that's what I miss the most. I miss not being able to touch something. I miss not being able to feel it. Touched another human being.
Your wife.
My wife, yes, I miss that.
Wow. You know, Lee, people are tuning in and they see to your prosthetics that you have. How do they operate? Can you get us through that and show us how they operate, how they work?
This is one unit. Prosthesis, this arm is connected to this one. There's a harness that goes across my back. Okay. D-ring in the center. Harness goes across my back, and there's a harness that goes across both shoulders. Okay. So these things are connected. They're one unit, but they're on me so tight that I can't fall out of them. Okay. So my residual limb, my physical arm, goes down to about halfway inside that plastic housing. Everything about this is mechanical. The only thing that moves is this cable and this part right here, because there's a ball bearing up underneath there. So whenever I move, flex my shoulders, move my back, it uprights. It opens and spreads those rubber bands. Whenever I relax, it goes back into place. So it's all mechanical. The object of it is, the hard part was learning to open this one without opening this one.
Right, right.
And to pick up something here and not drop something that I'm holding up over here, or to move something here and not drop something here.
Right, right. Lee, Shelby, the Lee Shelby. What I'd like you to do, Lee, is there are people watching this program right now, and they've made excuses for why they haven't done what God has called them to do. They've made excuses of why they haven't forgiven themselves for a mistake that they've made that harmed themselves and affected their families. Right. They have blamed God even. And they're sitting here watching this and they see you. What I'd like you to do, sir, is look into that camera and deliver that message of the no hands, no excuses, if you don't mind.
Whatever challenge you're facing in life, and like TC said, every one of us have a challenge. Mine are physical. Mine are out where you can see them. Yours may be inside. Yours may be something you're going through inside. Whatever that challenge is, and every one of us have it, do not let yourself get into a mode of making an excuse for not being able to do that. Whatever that task is, working out, getting yourself in shape, having a good diet, getting a new job, getting an education, whatever that is that you're going through, coping with an illness, coping with a divorce, coping with a bad relationship, don't let yourself make excuses for not being able to do it, because when you do, you're going to get stuck. You're going to stop trying, and then your world's going to turn upside down even worse. It's going to get torn apart. So I didn't make excuses, and so many bad things happened in the beginning. So many things that I went through. It was a learning experience, but you can only imagine what it would be like. I know you really can't imagine what it would be like. It was a very very trying time, and I had to relearn everything. But you can do that too.
Right.
God is there to help you do the same thing. These are real. These right here are real, right?
Right.
They're not going anywhere. I'll never get my hands back. So whatever you've ever gone through, you can't turn the clock back.
Come on.
All you can do is go forward. So keep going forward. Look to tomorrow. You're only promised today. You only have today. Look toward tomorrow and try to do better. Get through whatever it is. Don't make excuses.
Lee Shelby, I want to go right now offset and tackle something. I want to take something out. I'm telling you right now, because of you, I'm going to have tackling dummies offset, because you got me ready to run. You got me ready to work out. You got me ready not to have any excuses in what I do for reaching for my dreams. Thank you so much for coming by this afternoon on our show. And would you come back and see me at another time?
Yes, love to. Thank you.
Make sure you connect with Lee Shelby. His information is on the screen. Connect with this inspirational man. Send him some love on his social media. Visit his website. If you are somebody looking for a inspirational, motivational speaker, right here, he's your man. Lee Shelby, pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Look forward to having you back.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you.